10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Nah.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Clinks.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 5 seconds remaining.
Abyssal Underlord.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. 30 seconds to battle. The battle begins.
I'll take that as tribute.
This will come in handy.
First blood! I break from life.
Bounty.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
Крайне полезное и продуктивное занятие.
I give the gift.
Lost knowledge, lost again.
A lesson in death.
Double damage!
A gift from the goddess.
Storm I've sown.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Double kill!
Stupid cow.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Mine!
And I actually have the draft overlay still on. Very sorry about that. First cast of the day. Fortunately, only 5 minutes in. Should slow down a little bit. Looks like we might see a fight on mid, but the scan comes out and the scout out Spirit Breaker and the Darkseer. So Iceberg will be kept safe. Again, you know, pretty much trading even in terms of last hits with this Jugger, but Jugger is a hero that's pretty much always going to do well in his lane. It's really hard to pressure early on. Just high move speed, high armor. Not the highest damage, but good animation, and the spin and the heal combination makes him very, very hard to gank, no matter what your lineup is. And, you know, on this off lane, DK Phobos, he did die twice, but now the crucial thing here is that this hero with the Firestorm just keeps his tower alive. I mean, you can look at this tower, it's sitting, only lost 200 HP. In fact, it's pretty much the same as the Radiant's tower on their safe lane. And that's the thing, when you have a Klinx, you do really want to bring down that tier 1 tower early. Klinx is not a hero that flash farms the jungle particularly fast. And one of his strengths is being able to take down the tower, but what I thought is mid we have a charge. Omnislash is available, but no phase boots on Kai, so he was waiting for the surge as 33 TP, then surges him up, gets him in range for the Omnislash. FNG not quite on time with the bounded strike. Iceberg will take a spill. Nice move by NLG. They did commit 3 heroes, but of course, bring down a sniper. Be worth it. Phobos just TP'd himself out after the stun. Really wanting to be part of any chase. Actually TP'd all the way back to base and not to the tower. Bit of balls going out for lags.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Huge spike. There have been some spikes lately in Dota.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
Fight us the Lord.
He's still forming away on the top lane. Perhaps time to switch over to net worth. And we can see the safe laners pretty much even. Of course, the huge gap here as the carries in the mids are sitting at similar amounts of net worth, but this Underlord is a whole 1.2k behind the Darkseer. And I mean, to an extent, it's something you would expect. Like the Darkseer always does well on his lane. He even managed to pick up some early kills. It's quite normal to see him skyrocket, and you know, the DK Phobos on his Underlord has not had the greatest laning stage, especially considering that NLG picked a safe lane that is quite effective against Underlord in general. Klinx with the searing arrow damage, not really too affected by the atrophy aura. That's why we didn't see DK Phobos go for an early second point in it, because it just doesn't do a whole lot against the Klinx.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Majority damage coming from those searing arrows, as with the Venge. Wave of Terror boosting them even further. The hard lane for him to stay in. What does concern me a little bit though is, as we mentioned, Underlord is the kind of hero that wants to eventually become this tanky frontliner that the enemy team cannot really commit for. Cannot really burst down quickly. But with the lineup that NLG has, with the start they have, with the start that Underlord has, he's not really close to any big ticket items just yet. We'll be going for the Greaves first. That's gonna help out a lot, of course. Can even remove the debuff of that wave of terror. So it ends up being a large mana boost, but it's just large EHP boost. But between the physical damage from the Clinks and the Jugger boosted by the Venge, and then between the magical damage from the Spirit Breaker and the Darkseer, it's gonna be very hard for this Underlord to effectively frontline without just getting blown up. And this is furthered by the fact that there are no defensive abilities. The supports on Spirit and from the supports on the cores. So if they do decide to just commit to this Underlord and bring it down quickly, the response from Team Spirit is pretty much the only response is to try and kill them first. Which, you know, again, they have okay spells to do that with, but I'm a little bit worried for this Lord. Of course, though, maxing out that Atrophy Arrow does help quite a lot. I mean, 40% damage. Oh, looks like we have a kill with that nice Boundless Strike into Kinetic Field, Static Storm. Assassinate will be there as well. And Geyser takes a fall here. Mech not quite complete yet on the Darkseer, despite his pretty good form. It's only 11 minutes in. And nice executed smoke gank coming out from Team Spirit. Puts the Jugger behind the Darkseer in terms of net worth, you know, slows down his timings. And, you know, although Clinks is really good against an Underlord because of the sources of his damage, as I mentioned, it's like pure bonus damage, not based on stats, so it does not get reduced by Atrophy Aura, neither the Searing Arrows nor the Death Pact. But when it comes to Jugger, his damage boosts is, you know, first of all, percentage in the form of crit. But that crit is based on his base damage. And his base damage is, you know, okay, it's a raw bonus from phase boots, but a lot of the items he builds, like for example this Yasha and the Manta, 26 agi, you know, that's 26 damage, but that does get reduced by the Atrophy Aura because damage from your main attribute counts as base damage, so Atrophy Aura will be reducing that. And the Jugger might struggle to deal enough damage unless NLG wins some decent fight soon and, you know, start racking up some kind of net worth lead. Of course, the Desolator that Clinks is going for here will helping out a lot. Reduced armor coupled with the Venge armor reduction is gonna help this Jugger keep his damage relevant. Of course, Vengeance Aura pretty much counteracts Atrophy Aura as they have equal values. Dust comes out nicely, Clinks gets the glimpse back. Kinetic Field will not connect though, so he will walk himself away, and this was a bait from NLG. Now the charge comes in, but Static Storm cancels the ultimate, gets it off anyway. Vanscore will be the first to die, but so does Milan. Now Vengeful Spirit J4 going down. 33 being chased away, and now Excalibur finds himself dusted up. Has a wand, but will be going down here. And that's a successful fight for Team Spirit, despite the fact that NLG were the ones actually baiting. Juggernaut was not able to find a target for his Omnisash, as they kind of grouped up. I mean, this Lifestealer is pretty much unkillable at this stage of the game. You know, with his armor on, he is close to 2000 HP. Charge coming in, but no cancel in time. 33 was not gonna make it with the vacuum. The nice Boundless Strike slowing him down. So Iceberg able to TP home, picks up the Dragon Lance on top of the Power Treads, and looks like he's going for a very HP heavy build. Will probably pair it with the 200 health talent at level 15. And at that point, it's gonna be hard for NLG to commit for him. They do scout out Milan on Spirit Breaker, but what can they really do? Oh no, Iceberg finds himself out of position. Nice swap by J4. Charge comes in as well, gets glimpse back, but then the Omnisash connects, and we're just kind of greedy by Iceberg going for that shrapnel unnecessary when his team is not here, and clearly they were not planning to defend this tower. They got a couple kills the first time around when NLG attempted to push, because they used their Static Storm, they used a lot of spells. Now those spells were on cooldown, they did not want to defend yet for some reason. Iceberg still went in there for that shrapnel, but also not take away. Nice movement from J4, getting in the position that he can actually get that swap off. Busy, bit of a dangerous position, but again, I don't think they have a very good way of killing him. Not in any quick manner, though. And of course, very nice ward coverage, showing him absolutely everything that's going on. Looks like the tier 1 top will be the next tower NLG are looking at, but this TP from FNG suggests that these are more than willing to fight this. They ping out where he is and they actually get the right tree cut. Brings him down. He is now stunned and will be blown up. Cannot even get a single spell off. Nice static storm though on 2 with the Underlord Firestorm. Milan instantly dies. J4 will perhaps be going down, but now BZ in trouble. Can he get the Allied Infest? Will get it and is able to walk away. Now wall was already committed, and again a nice Firestorm with the kinetic field, keeping them in place. Charge comes out on Iceberg. Buyback from Milan, but if they do not get this kill, the buyback will not be worth it. Trying to burst down before Naruto, and they will barely manage to get him. PZ does TP out, and overall there was a buyback from Spiritbreaker, but still a pretty successful fight for NLG, because they will also now get the tower out of it. Slight gold lead, but definitely significant XP advantage going their way. And I can't help but feel that, you know, it was a pretty crucial mistake from FNG to get caught out there in this tree, because he died without using a single spell. And if he did get that Boundless Strike off, you know, maybe a bit of a nuke from the tree dance, we could be looking at a very different fight, because Team Spirit were almost winning it, and that's without him. And also this kind of has to be a misclick, right? Because he has no ultimate skill at level 6. I mean, Wukong's command, that's an amazing ability. Again, imagine if they had the Wukong's command here. The fight was pretty much happening in just this area and could easily be covered by ultimate, all the shrapnels and the kinetic fields and the bit of malice, keeping them in place inside that as well. And you get the glimpse on Milan, but you're able to just charge out, kind of not really saving the pit of malice to cancel the charge and stacking it with the kinetic field. He's able to just get away. Now NLG looking pretty comfortable, have a bit of a tower lead going, taking the tier 1 mid as well as the tier 1 top. Obviously the tier 1 mid being a lot more valuable. But vision wise, no, they're feeling pretty confident, probably looking to make another move soon, perhaps going for that bottom tier 1, but not willing to give up control of the rest of the map. So gonna be most likely sending Kaiser out to push this lane, perhaps a bit of a bait while he does so, and eventually look at... Alright, looks like bottom tower will be ignored. They want to stay around this area, they want to be able to contest the Roche, or at least not, because they know if they go for bottom, Team Spirit might just go for the Roche. They don't have the quickest Roche, no medallion up on anyone either, although this later is gonna be coming out soon for BZZ. But yeah, we can see that Team Spirit are definitely not feeling too confident right now. They have one aggressive ward, but these two defensive ones, not entirely sure what NLG are up to. FNG on the trees scouting things out. You find BZZ. Now they know what's going on, but skill, no vision for the glimpse. And this is the entirety of NLG up on this top lane. One in position to make a fight happen. Vacuum used though, and that's a massive 32-second cooldown. If the fight breaks out now, there is no vacuum, and this could be huge. DK Phobos TP's in. The team's kind of bouncing out, but now FNG scouts everything out. Charge comes through, knocks him down from the tree, but he's able to hop out so he doesn't get stunned. Vanscore almost dying, but drops down the field, and the static storm glimpse back onto 30. Excalibur very low, takes a spell to the assassinate. NLG guys cleans up the disruptor, but he's already used all his spells now. Healing ward taken down, 33 being chased. They're gonna turn around and go for Kaiser. He has no mana but pops the wand, and now he's able to spin. Will try to go for the spin TP, and he will make it. The physical damage not quite there. These are not yet complete. Assassinate. Perhaps it will still cool down. Would have been able to cancel the TP, but still nice fight. They take down the Clinks. Tower barely takes any damage, and you know, it's a 1 for 2 trade. Again, this time the monkey King not going down.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower
I'm
has
starting to think
been
maybe it was
attacked.
not a misclick because he actually maxed out the boundless strike at 7 and still did not take the ultimate. Although I have to think that at level 8 he's really gonna go for it because it's just
Radiant structures
good
are
ability.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
And you know, sure, it can get broken by the swap, but if they use swap on Monkey King, that means swap is not available for the sniper.
Radiant's middle tower has
Tifo will spit a pickle. He already used his rage here. Chase, you know, is attempted, but glimpse, defensive statics, firestorm, bit of malice, and he's gonna be fine. Midas looks like the item of choice here for the breaker. Nice, charges through. Does knock him down from the tree, but that does not count for 4 seconds done. And now Milan finds himself in a bit of a bad spot with charge on cooldown. Swap may come out, but no, it will actually, but this could be a mistake because he's gonna get back and now they're gonna get 2 kills for the price of 1. J4 just valuing the life of his support buddy there a little bit too much and ends up giving NLG just a free bonus kill. And this is gonna result in a Roche because now that desert is complete on BZZ, they're just able to head on over. NLG ping out the bottom tier 1, trying to go for a bit of a trade, but you know, they might not even get it in time. As I said, although they do have a Clinks with a Desolator, which obviously makes quick work of tower. Strafe popped kind of prematurely though, so Glyph comes out. And yeah, looks like Team Spirit will be able to not only get the Roche, but then also head on over to the bottom lane and defend it quickly. Iceberg picks up the Aegis, and Pitlord ultimate brings them all down here, and NLG are forced to back off, so not even able to get a trade for this Roche. Now things are starting to go a little south here for NLG. Of course, they're by no means out of it. Still looking a pretty decent spot. Have the mech on Darks here. On their way to the next item. Desolator complete on Clinks. Dragonlance will be his follow-up to that. Kaiser has the Yasha looking at the Manstop. Does he have the ultimate orb as well? Yes, he does. So he's even decently keeping up. Just needs about 200 more gold to finish up the Manta. Lines are being drawn to that tier 2 top tower, anticipating a bottom push from Team Spirit, as they did all go down there. But of course, they used the Pitlord ultimate to get there, the Underlord, and that means their TPs are still off cooldown, so if they see the top lane is being pressured, they can be there for defense. FNG, still no ultimate, really prioritizing the nuke damage from Primal Spring with the slow, and will be carrying the lifestealer inside of him. Tower's making quick work of, but now out pops BZZ, trying to bring down the retreat quickly, but Mech with healing ward and assassinate not connecting, but now the swap, the healing ward, all trying to keep him alive, but it just puts the rest of the team in a bad position. Nice static storm. Milan whacking on Iceberg, but it's not gonna be enough damage. Assassinate almost brings down Excalibur and the Clinks, and Milan with the crazy bashes almost solo killing Iceberg. They do manage to finish off Excalibur as well in the end, and the sole survivor is Kaiser. No one dying on Team Spirit. Aegis looks like it was though spent. Yes, it was on the sniper, and he died once, almost dying a second time. Alone to the Spirit Breaker, some lucky bashes, but in the end, very, very good fight for Team Spirit. And once again, Omnislash not used, just Kaiser not really getting the opportunity to find a nice Omnislash. A lot of 33 was the first one to get initiated on with obviously that Lifestealer Infest combo with the Monkey King. A lot of spells were committed to try and save them, you know, between the mech and then the healing ward and then the swap, but ultimately just kind of clumped them up in a bad position. Oh no, Klings gets caught here. He is under the shrine and it is available. TP actually coming in for Spirit Breaker, but I feel like this is a mistake. Swap not gonna save him, and now 2 supports from NLG just find themselves between the entire enemy team. Milan does manage to take down the Monkey King with him against some fortune bashes, but Assassinate will finish him off, and that's another 3-4-1 trade. Gem dropped on the ground, picked up by Vanscore, and you know, Kaiser was in the neighborhood, but can you blame him? Like, your Darkseer is not there, he doesn't have a TP available. Why would you take that fight? Just let the Klings get picked off. It's not great, but it's better than just losing a massive fight. They're looking at Iceberg here on the mid lane. Surge and Vacuum coming out. No, Omni Slash will be whiffed completely. I mean, not the greatest luck, but to be fair, it was an entire creep wave there. And I think he would have dealt a whole lot more damage if he just right-clicked him with that Iron Shell, with Pop the Manta for a little bit of extra punch. That being said though, he did go for the health talent and, you know, couple with the threat, sitting at 1.7k HP. Definitely not a squishy quick kill. And actually goes for a Blink Dagger here. You know, interesting choice. Can't say it's bad. It's definitely better than Shadow Blade, you know, considering that in these fights, with the amount of gap closing there is on NLG, they won't have any issue applying dust to him. No other Invis heroes on his team, so not like the dust is already there, but the Blink just gives him a little bit more reliable form of getting back. And the bigger thing is that, of course, Shadow Blade, if you compare Shadow Blade and Blink, Shadow Blade actually gives you decent damage as well, damage and attack speed. Blink gives you nothing, but looking at his team, it's not like they lack damage in any way, because Lifestealer is, you know, looking very farmed here, actually top of the net worth with Armored Desolator, Basher, as well as 1.5k gold, going for the AC next. So with damage not being an issue, going for the Blink, just slightly more defensive item of the two, makes sense for Iceberg. And also, all he really has to do is stick with his team, you know, Blink behind the Underlord, get that Greaves and Crimson Guard on him, make sure he's in those area denial spells, and, you know, if NLG really commits to chasing the sniper into a Firestorm, into a Static Storm, into a field, a Pit of Malice, Wukong's Command, Shrapnels, whatever, they will just die, even if they somehow manage to bring him down. So, nice Blink item choice. Looks like a bit of a split push attempt coming out from NLG. They actually are able to get to tier 3, but the Spirit are just committing. They're not concerned with this top lane, perhaps not noticing it, or now they do, but the melee Rex is pretty much gonna go down. Nice trade coming out from NLG. They will possibly pay for it with their lives, as the Underlord ultimate actually got cancelled here. I suppose a swap came out and Underlord wanted to stay with his team, but as a result, both Vanscore and FNG will be going down. Now Iceberg managed to get his TP score in, but he's alone between 3 heroes, gets vacuumed into the wall. Here comes DK Phobos, has the Greaves, has the Crimson Guard, and with the Shrine it will actually be enough to keep Iceberg alive. Assassinate, not gonna come out on time to cancel the TP of 33, and Excalibur will also be able to walk away with this. But overall, I would say big win for NLG, because not only did they trade, you know, 1 support for 2, that's not a big deal, but they left the range racks at 1 hit, they took the melee racks, and of course they lost their melee racks, so, you know, purely structure wise it's an even trade, but considering they're the team that was behind, it's quite good, because this just decreases the lead that Team Spirit had. Getting these, like, objective wise big trades that are even makes the game also more even, and that's not what the team that's ahead wants, obviously. Team that's ahead wants to get further ahead, team that's behind wants to get even. So successful play for NLG, and, you know, chances are if they did stay on the bottom lane and try to just take a 5-on-5 fight, they could have lost that badly and ended up falling a lot further behind. Now Medallions and potential Solar Crest starting to come out. Medallion up on nice Boundless Strike into Static Storm, and Kaiser will get swapped out though, so nice save. Spin will prevent the Glimpse. Assassinate coming out to potentially prevent the TP, but damage gets blocked by the Blade Fury, and he's able to blink out. Safety TP. I mean, worth trying by Iceberg, but what's gonna happen? Still, I mean, nice played by NLG, and honestly, I would say it's worth it. I mean, Static Storm on cooldown, big rotation, they end up only killing the Venge as she saves the Jugger. That's a good play for NLG. FNG caught by Milan, but who caught who? Because now out pops BZZ and quick 3 slaps on the Space Cow, just to take him out instantly. I mean, they actually had no vision. He was walking right below the stairs. Milan was on top of the stairs. He figured, oh, maybe that's a solo monkey, I'm gonna give him a smack, but he perhaps should have thought twice about going for that. So both sides took a tier 3, so both Riptide's shrines are vulnerable. But Team Spirit's still in a bit of a commanding position with a couple pickoffs on the supports again, able to clean up the top shrine. And now, you know, the map is starting to get a little bit dark and constricted for NLG. Just want to point out this Tranquil Boots medallion combo plus the 5 armor talent on Monkey King. You know, it brings him up to a whopping 20 armor, 22 when he has some auras on him. And, you know, as mentioned, the prime damage tiers, primary sources of damage on NLG are physical, so Monkey King is not that quick of a kill anymore. And especially with its AC coming out soon for BZZ, coupled with the Guardian Greaves aura, the Crimson Guards, aura plus active, even a Shiva's gonna be out soon for DK Phobos. All these AoE aura items, pretty much the only one that they're lacking is the Vlads.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Which, you know, wouldn't be surprised to see someone pick up eventually. And all of those just make their team so incredibly tanky. Kaiser just sprints in with the Lakery. They're gonna try to blow BZZ and they actually will be successful. Static Storm does come out now though, and the Shrapnel with the Firestorm with the Static Storm. Everyone dropping so low. Healing Ward will come out and they move themselves to the shrine, but Excalibur is just left out on his lonesome on the side of the fight. Will go down. BKB not able to keep him alive there. Charge onto Iceberg. Kaiser also manages to isolate him. Omnislash is already in cooldown, but they're dealing a lot of damage. BZ, they all converge on him. They managed to take him out, but a second round of Firestorm. Boundless Strike finishes off Milan. Now the Firestorm with the field in the pit. Takedown 33. Kaiser, a bit of an awkward man fight here, but he's stuck in the trees. Spin will make him immune to Firestorm. Nice swap coming out, juking the Underlord's movement. And Kaiser survives the fight, so in the end, NLG, the victors of that fight. Unfortunately, Klinks is the only one who actually lost money as opposed to getting some. So that puts him actually behind the Jugger as he actually got some money. Obviously, he's managed to survive that fight. Overall, very awkward fight. We see Sniper and particularly this Firestorm. I'm pretty sure Firestorm did the majority of the damage that fight of any spell, single spell. Bottom lane pushing in, they will be able to keep their drugs alive. Still considering that they're behind, NLG pulling out a pretty good fight, you know, a bit of a 7k lead, now slightly upset, going back the other way. Mjolnir already complete. Now the next item will be that Hurricane Pike, of course able to stop the charge by targeting Spirit Breaker. And Iceberg perhaps wondering why he didn't actually get that first instead of the Blink, because Blink does not really keep him safe against the charge, as we saw in that fight on the mid lane. And it really is a charge that kind of allows the rest of his team to get on top of that Sniper. Obviously 2.4 second stun is quite a while. Picks up a Blade Mode now after the Midas. I don't believe he had that in the last fight. It's a very nice pickup because all those aforementioned AoE spells will be hitting him as well. He has a nice HP pool to work with when it comes to reflecting damage. But now Iceberg with this Blink as well as the Pike, just even more mobile, and it's gonna be even harder for NLG Gaming to actually get on top of him ever and get the damage off on him. They're waiting for Underlord's Shivas, which is just about complete. Went for the 60 attack speed here, realizing range is not that crucial. Oh, Vasco getting caught out. Drops his ultimate, but not really a big spam. Oh, but now BZZ goes in, gets Omnisash, gets Nether Strike, and just dies now. Iceberg out of position. I mean, what is happening? It's just a chain feed coming out from Team Spirit. It was pretty clear that they needed 100 gold for that Shivas, and they just wanted to quickly finish it before going for any fight, but just what should have been nothing but a disruptor pickoff, which obviously doesn't impact the game much. He uses his Static Storm before dying, so that's wasted. Then Lifestealer runs in, then Sniper gets caught, and all of a sudden the NLG just get a Roche. I mean, that's a gigantic gold swing, it must be. Bit of a throw coming out from Team Spirit. Out with Aegis on the Jugger, still 30 seconds on the clock for both Lifestealer and Sniper, and you know, NLG are just not gonna wait. They're jumping. Kaiser blinks in, starts hitting the tier 3. They already have the top racks, of course. Could go for shrines, but they're looking at the bigger objectives. Vanscore, nice, swapped into the team. Detection is there, and he will go down again. Crimson Guard being applied to the tower, but it doesn't matter with the amount of damage Lynx and Jugger putting out together. There is blocking a lot, and the glyph comes out too, but now the active expires. BZ is spawning. FNG coming out, does not drop the ultimate just yet. No putting bait to cut down that tree on Kaiser. Milan gonna be the sacrificial lamb here to let his team escape. J4 also caught, but you know, this is a situation NLG have got to be very, very happy with. They do lose their range Rex bottom, but that's a trade you would make any day to get the melee Rex mid. And now they have a mega creep advantage on 2 lanes, and this is of course a bit of a interesting situation. Normally you have, you know, when you have 2 lanes,
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
right, so I mean there are basically a couple versions of this scenario. NLG have taken 2 lanes of mega on the melee side, and Team Spirit have taken 1, and it just so happens that the one side that Team Spirit have taken is they actually lose the range Rex as well. The one side that Team Spirit have taken is one side that NLG do not have megas on. So that means essentially 2 lanes will be pushing. Kaiser blinking forward, trying to force out the Unlord, but he almost gets blown up in the process. But yeah, so imagine, you know, they both sides had their big creeps on the same lane. For example, instead of taking bottom racks, Team Spirit managed to take top racks. So top racks would be evenly matched, and that means if NLG want to push out all the lanes, they have to push out both top as well as bottom, and mid will be the only lane where it will push in by itself. But you know, they have to push out one lane either way, because that's the lane they don't have mega creeps in, and if that lane happens to be bottom where Team Spirit do have, so that means both top and mid will be pushing out on its own. So this is kind of the perfect scenario for NLG. They will be going for the try now, having a pretty good read of where Team Spirit is on the map, despite not really having any wards. But now Excalibur has picked up an Orchid as well.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Not actually going for the 20% evasion talent. Kind of curious. I guess it's because Kaiser is going for the butterfly, and that butterfly will be enough of a reason for Team Spirit to pick up some MKBs, True Strike, Bloodthorns, whatever, and that's where you better have the 10 stats than an evasion talent on Clinks, which will also get countered at the same time by those MKBs. AC has of course been completed for a while now on the Lifestealer, as well as that Shivas on the Lord, so you know the tankiness is there, but then the so is damage is scaling a lot for NLG as well. With that Manta Diffusal now, Diffusal is really nice here because it's able to purge not only potentially defensive medallion, but more importantly the Crimson Guard active that blocks damage. You can purge that with Diffusal Blade, and that's a lot of value, it's a lot of added damage. Shrapnel thrown out on the mid lane, trying to get a bit of a push out going. Excalibur popping the strafe here just to push out this lane a little bit quicker. He's going for that Bloodthorn. They see FNG on the tree, but again, no Quelling Blade on Jugger, does simply not have the slot for it. Not able to get the kill on Monkey King. Both sides kind of in a, you know, Western standoff, not really anyone approaching or making any kind of initiation, just looking at each other. Vlad's actually picked up from Milan. I like this choice. Extra armor, extra damage for his team, and you know, both Clinks and Jugger really like that lifesteal. And Spirit Breaker, naturally being in the middle of the fight, is able to provide that aura nicely. Second shrine will be pinged out. They have forced Team Spirit to sit in their base, so this shrine should be easy for the taken. Again, Jugger finishes off the butterfly, and perhaps this was what they were waiting for. FNG scouting gets knocked down to the trees by Milan. He saw where he was moving to, and that's gonna be a very nice kill. Team Spirit don't really want to commit to saving him, but at the same time Aegis was just about to expire, so NLG did not feel quite confident to pursue the others. You know, Monkey King being a bit of a threat, but not really what makes the Team Spirit fight so scary. So just because he died, well, they don't feel confident diving into them. However, they do feel confident going for the tier 3. Glimpse coming out of Vengeful Spirit. It does reveal the fact that they have a ward. They ping out this spot, which is the more common one. Wave there with the gem true slide, they don't find the ward, so they have to realize it's somewhere else. But they're not scouted out. An AC picked up by 33. I really like this choice. It's unusual. Pretty much exclusively see Shiva's guard on the Darkseer because hate gives in and whatnot. But you know, in this case, I totally agree. Like, Lifestealer will have his rage pop, not gonna be affected by the Shivas. Sniper will be hitting from extremely far away, also not gonna be affected by the Shivas. So why go for Shivas when you can get an AC and instead give not only extra armor to your team, but increase your Jugger and your Klings, their attack speed by 25, which is massive. Increase their armor by 5 and decrease the armor of the frontliners of Team Spirit, which will be that Underlord and the Lifestealer. I mean, 5 armor reduction is not a whole lot, but every little bit adds up. It's percentage based, and you know, basically counteracts the AC on BZZ. Milan with an Invis rune, looking for an opening. Not gonna find it, and of course J4 is the one left behind on the bottom lane. Actually going for a BKB. Another very interesting choice. I would say not necessarily that he's going to be the biggest right-click threat. Of course, his right-click damage is pretty nice, but it's more the fact that a big part of Team Spirit's damage is actually magical right now and gets blocked by BKB, namely the Static Storm, of course the Silence as well, all the Shrapnels, the Mjolnir bounces flying around, and really the Firestorm being max HP percentage based. It's just so much damage from this Underlord. You know, Venge kind of ends up in the middle of the fight most of the time after using a defensive swap or perhaps an aggressive one. And having a BKB just means he will stay alive a little bit longer. The other choice, you know, for you might think, why didn't you just go for an Aghanims then? Well, with an Aghanims, he will die, he will spawn an illusion, but then that illusion will still be in the middle of the fight, in the middle of the Firestorm and the Static Storm and whatnot, and it might end up just dying really quickly as well. So BKB here will be the choice, and you know, I like that. The longer he stays alive, the longer he's providing aura, you know, throws out one or two more stuns, throws out another Solar Crest, perhaps another Wave of Terror, and you know, it can have a big impact. And I can't really think of any other item that could have done the same for him or provided a similar amount of impact. Normally the range boosting, you know, or like the catch items you see, such as Blink, you know, Force Staff or an Ether Lens, they're not really necessary here because the way the fights are going, or let's put it this way, our team is really split pushing. It's not the catch that they're lacking, it's just that both teams are a bit careful and they don't want to take a fight unless they're sure they will come out on top. But once the fight starts, everyone is kind of, you know, blasting into each other, base rushing, so extra range is not going to be that useful when you want to get these items, like these ore items, the man fighting items. We can see BKB also now in the works for Milan on a Spirit Breaker. And you know, J4 actually does pick up his 65 damage talent at level 20, so you know, what I said about him not hitting that hard, forget about that. He's actually hitting for close to 300 damage with a solid attack speed, and of course also boosted by the AC, as well his own auras and nice armor. So we might have a fight here. There is a ward. Charge comes out on the BZZ and instantly blown up with the Omnisash with the magic missile. Now the chase is on. Banscore getting caught out. Glimmer Cape is there. Do they have detection? They do not, but he's not able to really walk away that quickly, so he will go down in the end. And you know, creeps are pushing him from bottom, but the Rex is already down, and Tier 4s will be able to hold him off for quite a while. Meanwhile, Team Spirit, without their lifestealer, buyback will be forced out. Wukong's command comes out, Boundless Strike onto Juggernaut, but there is no real follow-up. Swap is there. BZ trying to focus on Excalibur, but he's just so tanky with that BKB. FNG gets blown up, his ultimate ended. Milan will take a fall, or will he now? The Bloodthorn onto BZ, his rage is down. Charge comes through, and he will die back. That's a monster kill, double kill for Kaiser. He does not have Omnisash available, still has the spin. Healing Ward is down now. Excalibur man fighting, he's trying to take down Iceberg, will be able to force stuff away, and now he's in a bad spot. Do they have detection? He picks up the gem, and is he gonna walk out? J4 dies, loses that gem, but Excalibur walks away with the gem. And triple kill for Iceberg. You know, gold did go the way of Team Spirit, but I would say NLG are still the definite victors of that fight. Melee Rex was kept alive, but to take the range Rex, and you know, this one melee Rex is the last barrack left standing for Team Spirit. And the bigger issue is that this Lifestealer died back. So his item progression is, you know, pretty much completely halted, and the fact that he's not gonna have MKB for at least another 5 minutes, if not more, means that this Jugger will continue to be a massive problem. I mean, Sniper has one and he is delivering the right clicks, but as you mentioned, he didn't go for this primary DPS kind of build with that Pike as well as the Blink Dagger, not really adding that much damage, so you know, it's not enough to really bring down this Jugger quickly. And now, especially with the Jugger working on a Skadi, Roche is attempted by Team Spirit, but I'm really not sure about this. They don't have their Lifestealer for another 10 seconds. And I mean, sure, they have the Monkey King ultimate, which I assume is gonna drop right about now. But Miran just walks in. They will try to kill him quickly, but the Blade Maul prevents them from doing so. And Excalibur in prime position to pick him off. The chase is on. The ward will actually spot him in one more hit. Iceberg goes down now. Excalibur is between the enemy team, but he doesn't care. Backup is there. Kaiser's Omnisash just makes quick work of FNG now. DK Phobos, nice static storm field. As Firestorm as well. BZZ arrives to the fight, but Sniper not there yet, even though he bought back defensive. Dark Rift coming out now. Will it be able to save them? Yes, and they will all get out, but this buyback from Sniper was there. Recharge still coming out. Milan also bought back TP back to the shrine, but this means Roche is gonna be taken by NLG, and again, like very questionable. Aegis, guys, someone should grab that. Okay, 33 grabs it. Suppose Kaiser doesn't really have a slot, doesn't really have anything he wants to drop for it right now. And on Klinks, you would rather have the cheese than the Aegis, because obviously if you die you will respawn without your death pact available, whereas the cheese allows you to keep it up. And 5k gold on Excalibur, perhaps they want to wait for him to pick up an item before going for this final push. And, you know, at least upgrade your Dragon Lance to a Pike or something, just spend a little bit of that gold. They're in a pretty comfortable position, and it looks like it will end the game, but you know, you never know, and you don't want to lose the final fight just because you had 5.5k gold unspent, which could have been an item. Non-spent gold is kind of a big deal. Like, you see this lead is 15k for NLG, but if he has 5k gold in the bank, that's 15k lead is more of a 10k lead, because just a large amount of gold is unused. Skadi now completed on Jugger, has the level 25 plus 20 Agi, and this guy is hitting so hard. He's so tanky, so much armor, much attack speed, and yeah, as I mentioned, Excalibur will be finishing up that Pike, although it is all the way back in base. And I don't think they really want to wait for it here. MKB actually picked... Oh, how did I miss this? MKB on the Phobos on the Underlord. He did take the attack speed talent, of course, because he's actually spending a lot of time on the front lines, man fighting. And, you know, if one of those supports goes down early, he gets some atrophy aura damage going with the MKB, with the damage talent. He actually hits pretty hard, but grab that swap comes out into instant Orchid. BZ dies before he can even do anything. DK Phobos will be the next. Vanscore drops the spells. A lot of return damage coming out, but Aegis is there. 33 will respawn shortly. J4 not having popped the BKB yet will take a spill. Kaiser now dropping the healing ward in dangerous spot. Has no spin available. Iceberg right-clicking away, but so is Excalibur right-clicking onto Iceberg. Iceberg force-stabs him away with a nice Glimmer Cape. Finds the distance, and now Kaiser is dead. Excalibur left alone, also gonna go down. The right-clicks, cheese popped, keep him alive for a little bit longer, but the right-clicks from DK Phobos with plus 240. Lastly, 33 manages to finish off Iceberg, and bloodbath of a fight. Melee Rack still standing. The offlaners for both sides are still alive. Nice play. Vacuums him in. The illusion gets instantly popped by the Firestorm now, and now 33 has to be careful. Won't really die here because, again, no catch on DK Phobos. And a Darkseer with Surge, Blink, Warstaff. No way he dies solo. Wants to deal a little bit more damage. Actually, buyback coming out from Klinks. BOTs himself, eats a creep, and looks like he wants to really get those megas. Again, no buybacks available for anyone on the side of Team Spirit, so I like this decision. Glyph is popped, but this should be a guaranteed Rex. Even if Excalibur dies back for this, it should not be a big issue. Yeah, we'll get Glimpse back in. Again, the right clicks from DK Phobos with the MKB, bring him down. That's a dieback, but mega creeps. I don't think Team Spirit are in any position to punish this dieback. I have to say though, what a decision from DK Phobos to go for this MKB and turn into a right clicker himself. I mean, I didn't have the chance to click the fight recap to see damage dealt, but I'm pretty sure he did a lot of damage, possibly the second most after Sniper. Looks like Daedalus will be the next pickup for Iceberg, makes sense. It's a nice DPS upgrade. I mean, he's right clicking a lot. Synergy is not the greatest with Mjolnir, obviously cannot really crit from the Mjolnir damage, but BZZ, I mean, his impact has just really fallen off this game. Again, that fight, very nice Tishnation by NLG, just swap into instant Bloodthorn, he's not able to get any spells off, and he just died so darn fast. GFO was pushing out the top lane, Illusions will scare him a little bit, as the rest of the team is sprinting down mid. TPs himself back to base. I guess he still has the Dark Rift to join his team for this. Because I mean, this has to be a throne attempt, right? Klinks is up in 20 seconds. There's no way they can try to trade Megas or something like that. They don't have the damage for it. Very careful approach by Team Spirit. And there's Dark Rift, and this looks like it will be the final fight of the game. Again, BZ swapped him, but this time he managed to pop the Rage in time. Static Storm will completely whiff though. BKB's pop, no glimpse possible. Shrine is used. DK will stunned up a little bit. And now Kaiser jumps in with the Omnislash, will make quick work of Vanscore. Static Storm already dropped also. Excalibur in the middle of the enemy team. Up BKB gets bounded straight and just right click down so hard. But meanwhile, Iceberg got isolated in the backlines by Kaiser and Milan. Now BZZ orchid it up. A very long life limping away. You know, DK Phobos is strong, but not strong enough to 1v5. Will go down, and this should be GG called by Team Spirit as they got fully team wiped. They not get any. I mean, even if they got Megas, it would still be more or less GG because none of them have buybacks available. Or hang on, hold on as I say that. The 2 buybacks come out, but I really don't see them defending even 3v5 as Vanscore is about to respawn. Where do you see that respawn talent? And you know, Vlad's on this disruptor. I mean, it helps out a little bit, but perhaps a mobility item to get better statics on would be nice. Bloodthorn, you know, Glimmer Cape will keep BZZ alive now. DK Phobos trying to do something, but there's just no way he can tank that much damage. Or is there? Greaves, Shrine, he goes down eventually now. BZZ in trouble. Milan will take a fall, but you know, FNG just gets right kicked down. No bounded strike. And GG is called. NLG take game 1. And in what a fashion. I mean, I have to say I'm very impressed by NLG. Every game of theirs I've watched, they always seem to fall behind a little bit in the early game.